It's week 1 of the NFL, and we'll see who rules the skies in today's battle. It's the Ravens and the Jets, and it's coming right up on EA Sports.
Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin here for the start, folks, of another NFL season. We are Brandon Gaudin alongside the one and only Charles Davis. And CD, lots of compelling storylines in a game like this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for these two offenses.
And I'm glad you brought up the numbers because sometimes it's hard to quantify a team's performance solely by judging the numbers. But I think with these two teams, what you see is a pretty accurate representation of who they are.
Time to see this wide-open Baltimore offense go to work, and leading them, pretty darn good one, Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
Another excellent season from Lamar Jackson that was cut short by ankle injury and actually showed just how much he is valued as the leader of the Baltimore Ravens as they went 0-4 down the stretch and missed the playoffs without him. Prior to that, they were 8-5 in a tough AFC North, and he was on his way to his third 1,000-yard season as a runner and career-high marks as a passer.
5 yards on the game's first play, second down. Now Jackson taps this forward, jet sweep. A little juke. And some room to roam now. And he will score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. We'll get our first look at this New York Jets offense, really retooled the last couple of seasons. And at the helm under center, second overall pick from 2021 out of BYU, Zach Wilson.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game, almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Now Hall to start the drive. And he'll make very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they...
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he can
close pretty quickly, and that was because the deep...
Hall has it knocked loose, and it's picked up by the Ravens. He's at the 30. 10. And this is going to be brought back for a Baltimore touchdown. So this, and now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On 3rd down, Wilson. That is caught. It's Wilson. He finds his man, complete. To throw again on 2nd down, Wilson. Over the middle, he gets it to Barrios. And they're going to get this. Ball want to give up the middle. And he's eaten up. Ball again on 2nd down. And despite the fence, here's Wilson. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Perfect start to the season on their first drive last time out, able to find the end zone. Now we'll see Dobbins hit and he fumbles, but it looked like a Raven.
That people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done. And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball.
Another run here with Dobbins, and he is met. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And Week 1 this year, and it'll pit the Broncos and Seahawks as Russell Wilson makes his Bronco debut.
Great tackles, and his feet never stop moving.
Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. And it's a tremendous. They'll run with Dobbins. And he will maneuver. One more time with Dobbins. And that'll move him a little. It's 3rd and goal. Now Jackson. Touchdown. They head back on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
All again on 2nd down. Here's Wilson to throw. Being chased out left. And incomplete. 14-0. Points here. They could really put him in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good with the run your offense. But don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking.
Okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. That would complete to Prochet. And he is tapped up. They'll go option to the short side. The quick feet by Jackson. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. They go play action now. Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. Another 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And he'll be taken.
Did use a shot in the arm, something to perk him up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And he's got a time report, but business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And now a throw
reaches the end zone.
On 2nd and 10. Wilson got a man. It's Barry. Look here on 3rd. They'll run with Hall. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Facing this big first-half deficit, they keep the field goal unit on the sideline. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Hall. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Looking for Bateman. He's got it complete. And they get him down. Throwing on 1st down. It's Jackson. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. This will be fielded inside the 5. And makes it across the 12. A minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date my time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Flushed out right. And intercepted. Wilson's 3rd of the game. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they will get the 1st down here as they move into field goal range as well, inside the 25. After the interception, here's Jackson. That is caught. It's Bateman for a Raven touchdown. Rashad Bateman on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Ravens will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Tucker with the extra point. And the rout is on here in this first half. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get something on the board here before intermission, they'll have at least a little momentum heading into the second half. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Open man here is Conklin. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games.
All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. All right, Coach, thank you very much. Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for Week 1, and one of our early window games here in Week 1 on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record. But everyone's got to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between Week 1 and Week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of this season.
So for the Ravens, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they'll return home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland.